Hey everybody, I'm Michelle Rushing with Stampin' Butterfly. Thanks so much for joining me today. I decided I'd get on this Saturday afternoon and share some tips and tricks for using our Paper Florist dies. These are one of my favorite sets in the catalog. I'm going to show you a little cheat sheet I put together. We're going to go through all the different dies. I've pre-cut some of these to save us a little time, but I want to show you how to assemble them and some different things you can do to make your flowers a little more 3D, and you can use them on cards, you can use them on home decor projects. So let's go ahead and take a look. So this is a quick card that we had made in one of my card classes this week, and we used the Masterfully Made Designer Series paper, and then we did the flowers, and we did a little crinkle effect where we spritzed them with water, crinkled them up, let them dry, and then we assembled them so they kind of look like the paper. So that's a fun way you can use these flowers. I just thought I'd share that quick card with you. So let's take a look at these dies a little closer. If you look at the back of your paper catalog and you saw this gorgeous display of flowers on here, this is where the flowers come from. So they're in this die set, as well as there's some from the daisy. I think it's mostly from this die set and then the daisy die set that's also in the annual catalog. So what you can do, it comes with all the different dies, and there's different ways that you can assemble your flowers. So let's take a quick look at where they are in the catalog, just so you can find them. So if you go to your die section in the back of the catalog, they are a standalone die, so that means they don't have any matching stamp set, but they do have like their own dies. And the set comes with quite a few pieces. There's 18 dies in the set, and they include the flowers, the stems, and everything. So that's where you'll find them, and it's called Paper Florist. Now the other tools that we'll be using today, let me point them out real quick, is your Take Your Pick tool. So up here, number 7, we're going to use the Take Your Pick tool. And then we're also going to use our piercing mat, number 6. And you can find this online as well. So those are the tools that we'll be using, and then you can also use your Stampin' Spritzer to crinkle the flowers. All right, let's look at the dies real quick. So here are the dies. Now I put them on my own magnetic sheets. They don't come like that. They come on this white cardboard, but I went ahead and mounted them because I've been using them so much. So you'll have, there's 3 different leaf patterns. So those are right here, and I did them in different colors so you can kind of see that. Then you've got some flower pieces. So here are the individual pieces down here, and then I've assembled some here. So this little ruler looking thing you could use as grass, but what it's designed for is you roll it up and then it gives you a flower center here. Then there's some centers for flowers, big and small, and some tiny little ones here. And then this one almost looks like a sun. You can actually make that into a sun, but it's also a center of a flower. I combined these two to make this little sunflower over here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me pull it up a little closer. So I made that little flower there. And then there's some sprigs to do these little tiny tulip looking flowers. And you can do them as buds or tulips. So you can put them so that the little green sticks out, or you can put them over the top. Those are different ways you can do those. Let's see. So these are the centerpieces here. These are the little flower buds here. Which other ones did we talk about? These little tiny, tiny guys are over here, and you'll see them used in the card here. And there's one used over here. There's some of these little spriggy things, and they are the stamens inside the flower. So I've layered up like one here. There's some of your flowers from these pieces. Let's see, this guy. So this guy here is this center piece over here. And then these little pieces here are that one. And then for this flower, I layered these two together. So just lots of different ways you can do this. I mean, these aren't the only ways, but I thought it'd be helpful to see different ways you can do it. So this die right here cuts out 4 pieces, and that's used here for all 4. You can break it apart and do one large and one small, and you can curl the leaves forward, or you can curl them under and use some dimensionals with them. These leaves here are kind of like a little wonky shaped. That's these ones over here. And then there's a 4 set here. Again, you could layer the 4, or you can break them in 2s, and you could do 2 small and 2 large, or you could do like here 1 small and 1 large. You know, lots of different options with your flowers. And then this one over here has some slots in it, and we'll look at all the paper pieces. I just want to point out the dies. So this one has 3 slots, so I combined the 3 of them together here to make those, and then here I did 6 of them, so you can make an even thicker flower, and you can do even more than that. So like here's all 4 petals, so this one I did 4 of them, so I did 2 here, and then I ran it through twice and did 4. So those are the different ways you can use them. I want to give you some pointers on like how to put them together. So I've done some die cutting, and let's pull them out. We won't use all of these, but I ran through a little bit of everything just so you guys can kind of see how they go together. So I'm a glitter paper fan, of course. So I did run some of the centers through in glitter paper, and they're really pretty. So you can layer those inside of your flowers, and they give you a fun look. You could do your leaves in glitter too. Here's the one I ran it in green, so you could kind of see it does look like grass. You can kind of bend the pieces and make it fun. You can cut it smaller, and then you can put it at the bottom of your card and make it look like grass. So we're going to make that into the flower stem in a little bit. And then we've got some of these little petal pieces I talked about, and then you've got the little tiny buds. So when you die cut those, you'll have like 3 little buds there. And so we're going to work with some of these. So let's make a little pile of which ones go together. So those 3 go together. Those are little stems. Some of these I find it easier if you want to use a glue dot sometimes. So you may want to use your glue dots to put the different pieces together, or just a little dab of liquid glue. Depends on what your preference is. So this one comes with 4. When you die cut this one, got some leaves, and then here's this willowy one. That's a 2-piece, and then this one, you get 4 flowers out of that. These are some more centers. Now, another fun thing you could do, you can die cut your flowers out of watercolor paper. Maybe you have Hues of Happiness left over. You can cut your different flowers out of there, or the leaves, and get a fun watercolor look. You could watercolor paper and then use your dies as well. These leaves I did in just white, and you could take your blending brush, which I didn't bring over any ink because I was just working with dies, but you could ink this up and you can sponge the edges of that. You could use your sponge dauber, so you can get different tones of flowers on that. But right now, let's go ahead and just assemble a couple flowers. So one thing I like to do is use my bone folder to break up the paper. So if you kind of gently rub your thumb over it, you can loosen up the fibers in your paper and they'll curl a little bit better. So you could do that. And keep rolling them. Let me just drop in. I didn't even double check I was in the right place. So let's see. It looks like I am here in the right place, so yay. I got so excited to show you the flowers. So anyway, if you're here, drop me a hello. Let me know where you're from. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'll check back with you guys in a little bit. So here we're just using this to kind of soften up the leaves. We're going to build this into just a 2-piece flower. So we're going to do a big and a small. And when you're doing a card class, it's nice if you don't want it to be a full 4 flower. When you run it through, you get 2 flowers if you're only using 2 pieces. So it'll save you a little time on making that. So there we go. So we've got the flowers bent up. Now again, if you wanted your leaves to go down, you can curl in the other direction, right? Just don't pull too hard. You don't want to rip your flower. So you're just kind of running your thumb and the bone folder over that piece right there. So that gives you a different look. Now that's the top and bottom. And then we can put some dimensionals between those. So let's make that one the bottom. Now another fun thing you could do is using your take your pick tool. So the tips change out on this. So right now I have the pointy end on here, so you can take that one off and you can put in one of your styluses. There's a fat and a skinny stylus. So let's try the fat stylus. We're going to grab our piercing mat and see if I can clear a little space over here. We're going to go ahead and use this. So we started curling this already, right? The paper's really good and bent. So if you want it to curl up even more, you can use, I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. So you can use that and just roll the center in there. So see the difference in the 2 flowers? then one goes up higher than the other. So you can do that to curl the centers and have your leaves bend up a little bit. Then you can just use some mini dimensionals. Let's grab some of those from here. And we can do that in the center to put them together. And then you can offset them. And again, if you had your sponge dauber and you wanted the edges to be darker, you could sponge dauber the edges in your different color ink or the same ink. You can have shadowing. Then if we wanted a center of one of these, you could do it flat on there. That one's a little bit large, so I think I want to go with something smaller. So maybe we'll use this little star point one. That's cute. And again, if you want it to curl, pull out your little stylus there. You can put that, and there's enough center space there. You could put a rhinestone, like here. I put a little rhinestone in that one. You could do that too. So this one, I'm just going to use a glue dot. Ooh, that is one sticky glue dot. It did not want to come off. It just took my whole paper. All right, I might have to go the other way next time with it. See if we could salvage our poor little center. All right. So there you go. So there's one flower. Now if we wanted to add this leaf on the back, we could just put another glue dot, which I think I'm just going to peel off with my finger this time, so I don't shred my paper. And I'm going to roll it up, kind of in a rectangular oval shape to fit on the stem. And then you'll go ahead and you'll put that, you'll attach it to the back, however long you like your stem to go. Like if you want it to stick out further or less, just kind of decide where you want to put that. And then you've got your flower. Can't see it on there. Let's do it over the lighter paper. And then you could just put a dimensional on the back there and mount it to your 3D project. If you have a wood frame, you could put them on there. So that's one flower. Now let's take a look at this guy. So this one, again, we're going to want to loosen the paper fibers. So you're just going to roll your bone folder a bit. If you want it to be super, you can go the other direction too. And then go back the way you want to curl it. Now on this one, I like to roll it on something skinny. Let's see. I have a pencil. So you can roll it around. If you want it to be a wider opening, you could do this one. If you want it to be tight, you can just roll it around a pencil, whatever you have it on hand at your desk. You can even just roll it without that too. And then you slide it off. And you'll see it's got much more of a curl. So you can put a little glue dot here to get it started. And then we can, now that we've kind of given it a curl, now you can use that pencil to do it the same way, or you can come back through and roll it tighter, because that was going to make it wider than I wanted for my flower. So we're going to keep rolling that. Hopefully I'm on camera for you guys. Looks like it. And then you can keep rolling it, and then we're going to need another glue dot or some liquid glue, whatever your preference is. You just want to, if you're using liquid glue, you got to let it sit for a little bit before you start manhandling it so it dries well. So then you can just bend these out. You can hold the sides and you can spread them out. This paper I think is Calypso Coral, in case you're wondering. Most of the colors on here, I used Bubble Bath and Fresh Freesia and Berry Burst. And the leaves, I think, were Garden Green, Parakeet Party, and some Lost Lagoon. And these guys, I believe, are Pretty Peacock. So kind of played around with different colors. All right. Look how pretty that is. See if you guys can tell. I got to move that darkness out of the way. So there you go. You've got a little flower center. Now let's take a look at these guys. So for these, you can, again, bend them, and you can glue the tips together like that. See if you can tell. So you could put a glue dot or a liquid glue and kind of hold it together. So same thing with this one. And you'll see there's like a score mark on here. So you can kind of bend it on the score mark for that one. And there it is. And then you can kind of curl them in. So again, if it's not bending easily, you can go back to your bone folder. Try to assemble it that way. So we're just going to put a little glue dot on there. Doesn't want to come off my finger. These are super sticky today. Maybe it's the humidity. All right. So there we go. See, we got like a little cup shape going on. You guys can see that. So we're going to do that for all 3 of these. Oh, I'm running low on glue dots. That might be the end of this poor guy. I think so. All right, we'll have to take the new one. I can't say I love them. They're loaded backwards, so we'll have to take this apart and rewind it. I got used to the old way they used to be on the bottom side. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but it is something to get used to. All right, so we got that one assembled. And let me take a quick look and see if anybody has any questions. So I think we're good. Here's another glue dot. All right, I'm gonna put it on the back and then stick it down on there. And then we are going to glue these 3 together. So what's nice about this, and again, you could do liquid glue. I'm going to go ahead and just use the glue dot since we're on a glue dot roll. Might have missed one. Is the liquid glue, you know, it'll give you some wiggle room. You could do that. But the opening here is nice because you'll be able to use this piece, that curly piece we just made. Let's see, where's the next dot? Here you are. And again, you can roll them, stick it at the bottom. And you can put them together as close or as far apart as you want the center to be. So let's move this out of the way. So you see I have that big opening there. If I wanted it to, I could push them in closer. I could pull them in farther, and then you can also add different leaves. You might even be able to layer, like I haven't played with that, but you might be able to layer a couple of other flowers. Here, this one's done. Let's see. If it didn't have the leaf, you might be able to layer that one in there too, which is kind of cool. So then what you would do, I would probably use liquid glue to hold that one in, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and use a glue dot. Since we are in glue dot mode, I'm going to stick that there. And then put that in the center. So there you go. So now you've got a flower in your flower center. See if you guys can tell. I did a mauve color, so it might not be great for camera. Maybe over the white paper is better because it's almost the same as my backdrop. All right, so there's that flower. Which one haven't we done yet? So we haven't put together one of these. So now these are a little trickier to line up. Depends on what kind of look you're going for. I'm not sure what kind of flower these are. But they're like uneven the way the flower blades go, or the flower petals. So if you kind of play around which way you want them to go, you'd have to decide, you know, they don't fit exactly perfect that I've found in here that I love. So, you know, maybe a dimensional might be good on this one. Let's try a dimensional. I don't think I did that last time. So we're going to put a dimensional at the bottom, and then we'll just pick which way we want the top one to go. Just keep rotating it till it's pleasing. All right, so that's kind of cute. Seems like all the big petals are here and small ones are there. So maybe we'll add the leaf to that side. And then we can add a center. So we could add a purple. We got this glitter. Ooh, the glitter pink looks cool. All right, we're going to go with that guy. Again, we need to find the glue dots. So we're going to grab another one of those. And make sure you got your supply of glue dots rolling when you start working on these flowers, because they come in handy. So there you go. You've got that. And then if we wanted, let's see, do we have a small one? What colors do we have? Like I just got a smorgasbord. Oh, that's kind of cute too. All right, so we'll put another one. We are gonna layer these bad boys up. So let's grab another glue dot. And we'll go ahead and put that one in the center. Goodness, I am a sticky mess today with these guys. All right, look how pretty that flower is. And then we can decide, do we like this kind of leaf? Like Butterfingers, there's that kind of leaf. We used this one last time. This kind of leaf. I think I like this one. Let's see what colors I have. I did one in yellow. It's kind of neat. I think I like the green though. I think Lost Lagoon is the winner. So we'll go ahead and add another glue dot, like you guessed. And it doesn't want to come off. It only half came off. Okay. There we go. And I think I'm going to add it to the side where the petals are a little shorter, just for some balance. And you could even add two. If you want to add two different colors, you could do that as well. I mean, look how pretty that is. You could do two of the same color. I might do that. I think I like that a lot. That might have to cut some more leaves later. All right. I did not bring my little silicone mat. I usually like to do the silicone mat when I'm using liquid glue, so that is why I am glue dot crazy. Perfect. So there's a flower we put together. Here's another one. This guy needs a little more glue dots. I think he needs one more to hold them together better. So you have that one. Okay, I gotta tear these, they're driving me crazy. If we wanted to, we could also put together one of these little guys. So we have this one. And let's see. The yellow is kind of pretty. Let's take a look. Where are the other yellow flowers? Maybe we'll do two in this color and one in that color. So again, trying to line these up. They're a little bit different size. You can see there's one that's a little bit bigger than the other. And you guessed it. Let's do a glue dot. I'm going to try my pointy tool and see if that helps out a little. So try peeling that off, sticking it to the bottom of the flower. And then we're going to put this one underneath. And then glue dots a little bit big. Maybe we'll try paper pumpkin glue dots. These are a little bit smaller. So if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you get tons of these little glue dots. So I'm going to try one of these instead. You kind of have to experiment with your supplies to see, you know, what you have and what you like that works best. Now the yellow probably should have gone in the middle, so we might be moving that flower. All right, let's see if it'll let us take it off. We're going to lose our flower. Gosh, those glue dots are strong today. My goodness. All right, so now we're going to move it to the middle because I just realized we had two of the other color and I wanted it to be every other one. And there's still some glue dot left on this one, so we're just going to use what's hanging. Stick that one on there as well. All right, hopefully you guys were able to follow that crazy little demonstration of the glue dots on that one. Definitely these are better. They're a little bit smaller for that. Again, let's see what other pieces we have in here. You can make this little sunflower. I don't think I cut any of those pieces. I'm not seeing any around here. But that's another option. You can layer a big and a small of the dots together. You can do a solid and a dot together because that die is all one. So it's going to cut you each. So if we take a look at that die again, you'll see that it cuts a large and a small. So with one run through the die cut machine, you'll have both. Now, other thing to remember is if you do a lot, if you have a little scraps and they fit perfect, you can kind of layer up maybe 4 or 5 different colored cardstocks and then lay up your dies, and they do fit in the mini machine. So if you have your little mini machine like this guy, all the dies will fit in here, and it's noted in the catalog. So if you're ever wondering what will fit through the mini machine, there's a notation in the catalog that says it will fit through your mini. So let's see. So we made one of those. We didn't make any of these guys. Here they are, the pink ones. So again, it would kind of be the same thing. You would soften up your bristles, and then you could layer 2 large, 2 small, all 4 of them. You can layer them, you know, in that different manner, and you can put different centers together. But I think you guys get the idea. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, or if you have any other tips to share, feel free to comment below. So I think that is all I wanted to share with you. Hopefully you found it helpful. You can find this sheet. I did post it on my, well, I gotta go the wrong way. I did post it on my Facebook page, so you will find that for reference. If you scroll a little further down, I forget what day I posted it. So I may post it again with maybe a card I create with these pieces that we did tonight. And then I will share that back with you guys later. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great night.